Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to tonight's showcase of the Lunar Racing Club. My name is Zoe Vermillion, and I am joined in the booth by the invenerable and venerable. How you doing?
Doing fun. Came here to commentate Free Enterprise and break bots, and I'm all out of bots to break, so we ought to have a good night.
We've already broke one bot, so I guess you're on track for that. Um, but yeah, this is a flag set that I have raced in once, and it is definitely really tough. And I might have some salt towards one of the people who helped create it.
Which? Because I couldn't. I mean, there are lots of people who helped make this flag set. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about you, Invent.
Oh, what'd I do?
You broke my bot.
Oh, I thought you meant with regard to the flag set itself. Pardon.
Well,
Okay,
that
yeah,
too.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, breaking bots. Fair enough, fair enough. Anyway, yeah, this is the Lunar Racing Club. It is a flag set where you can buy cabins. That's all you can buy.
Yeah.
You don't even buy them. They're
Yeah.
basically giving them away.
I mean, you can also find stuff like the spear in chests. So,
Hey, sometimes what you really need is the spear. It is the, I mean, it's so iconic that they gave it the name Spear. I really do wish that like there was like a secret Zodiac spear like in Final Fantasy Tactics. Just, oh, why is this spear not stacking up with my other spears? And then you realize it's because it's, you know, basically the spoon. Maybe. I don't know.
that'd be cool. I actually really love that kind of mechanic of like, man, why isn't this stacking? It looks the same, but it's actually not. But yeah, beyond that, there are 4 objectives here. We got 2 sets in the Ribbon Room and the Masamune altar, and then 2 random. In this case, we have Get Porum and defeat the bosses of Dwarf Castle.
Hey, that's not shabby. We have a starting Kane who can equip a wide array of weapons. It's very hard to get through your first couple of, you know, looting zones without finding something he can swing. And we know there's at least a white mage in our 7 potential characters hiding out there somewhere.
Yeah, that's good news. Well, there's one. This one doesn't count for the objective, but we do have that Porum, which is nice. Notably, we do have no dupes, so the one that we do find will likely not be joining our party, but will be fulfilling the objective.
And you see that loaded starter kit come down. We may not be able to buy anything other than cabins, which are free. You can just get your full stack whenever you stop by a shop. But we're going to give you all the tools to really just tear through this early overworld. 3 of each of the tier 2 elemental items, and a whole lot of other goodies too. The main resource that you really have to be cautious with on this flag set, I'd say, are probably those star veils. If we run into, you know, oh, Asura, are you going to burn 2 or are you going to life locker? Gold bets. Are you going to use one to reflect spells or are you going to use your life potions to battle of attrition? What happens when you run into Wyvern if you've burned all these? So you have to manage your resources a little more cautiously than you might in a flag set where shops are free and clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to point out that so far we have seen 2 bosses, and both of them have been blue robes. So there's a blue robe in the Baigan spot, and there's a blue robe in the Baron in 1 spot. So, okay.
Yeah, there's a secret flag we've added. All enemies are just blue robes. You get to fight the alt gauntlet Nah, this just it was mere.
And in our tracker pointing out that is the alt gauntlet at Baigan because there was only 1 blue robe in Baron in. There would be 2 if it were the alt gauntlet. So that's Water Hag.
And we do see Rosa there, so 2 white mages available this seat minimum. We're not going to be desperate for healing, being like, oh, I need to buy Cure 3s. No, we're going to have all the healing we need, pretty much. And
yeah, this
as a matter of fact,
you get 2 white mages.
Yeah, what else do you need? But specifically, huge shout out to our tracker tonight, Xenocat, and our restreamer, Alicel, both taking care of the back end so that everything goes smoothly, and you all can follow what's going on when you're not needing to for when Zoe and I inevitably lose track. There we go.
Absolutely. In Watery Pass, though, this is very much an edge pass. We found a Boomerang and a Murasame so far, so maybe we can find an edge in one of these Distinct 7, and you have some decent equipment to back row glitch him and a good ninja sword to get him off the ground, but I wouldn't hold my breath for it. But you can't really sell it either, because all you're going to be able to buy is free cabins, so...
Yeah. I mean, you'll be very thankful to have it if he shows up as one of the 7. We've seen Kane, we've seen Porum, we've seen Rosa, 4 more characters available. I mean, it could end up being that he is in the seed, but he's only behind, say, the Giant of Babel, in which case, big whoop, you know? I do like seeing Blaze here looting Watery Pass, because you do get that starting set of exit doors in your J item loaded kit. So you can walk all the way through here and not have to walk all the way back. And with T Pro on, it's not shabby loot. But there's also, of course, T Junk, and that's why we found 2 vials of eye drops.
Yeah, T Junk proving that the R button is not just for anxious fidgeting through your characters on the overworld, it's also for discarding loot.
Yep. Final 4 chests here. Meanwhile, Solaris, not going quite that deep into looting, and is instead pursuing one of the first readily available key item locations, prospective key item locations, Cave Antlion, and a Stardust, just for if you need even more J items to throw at these early foes.
And Blaze finding a rune axe to go nicely with this Cane, and then gets a refund on the exit. Found one in the back of Watery Pass, so not even using one of his precious starter kit exits.
Oh yeah. Rune axe, the heaviest hitting axe in terms of pure damage strength. Yes, pure damage strength. That's what I'm calling it. Pure attack power. But of course has on the lower end of accuracy, but stacking the strength gear and putting Kane in the middle and maybe even taking a jump. Hopefully you'll land more hits than you miss. Hopefully.
Yeah. And Solaris finding a Dragoon Gauntlet and an Ice Rod here in the Antlion save room. So find a Black Mage and, you're set to take on reptile type enemies.
I always find it funny when we see a Dancing Dagger go on Kane. I've had to do this in many seeds, of course. You can still use it for the little tick-tock damage. But normally you're thinking, oh, I would like to give this to a Rydia or a Palom until they get good spells. No. Kane is over here being like, can I have a bigger weapon, please?
Finds a Mute Knife too, so that might be a decent bigger weapon. We do see our 4th character of the seed being an Edward there on Hobbs. I missed what boss was guarding him, but Oscar would be happy. Our runners potentially not, unless we run into something like a nasty Evil Wall or Odin that you really want to take advantage of.
I could see Solaris actually making that pickup, though. If Solaris finds an upgraded weapon for Kane, then that Dancing Dagger actually lets Edward do respectable damage through the overworld. So it's not shabby.
Yeah, that's very true. And it's not like we have Permajoin on, so once you find someone that you would like better, you can just swap it out. Unless, your better characters are locked behind the Giant and, say, a very deep Zot chain or something. Oh, never mind.
Well, there is the Earth Crystal that gets us a big old slew of loot in the treasury, which is really nice because, again, this is T Pro. It's not T Standard, so pretty good distribution there. It won't surprise me to see Solaris head there in a hurry. That Dancing Dagger, you definitely want to try to get an upgrade over that for your Dragoon.
Yeah, Blaze made up quite a bit of time. Took the time to loot Watery Pass, but finished Antlion just shortly after Solaris, and Solaris checks Waterfall Cave. I believe that was Baron Guards.
Mm-hmm.
Neither.
Oh, the sink is real.
Neither racer wasting any time heading over here to the treasury to grab that sweet T Pro loot. Very, very dense, very good chance of pulling something that could really make this overworld relatively free. Yeah, this is some crazy sync. Wow, they're in lockstep right now.
All right, eyes open. Ogre Axe. I definitely like that over the Rune Axe. It lets you wear a shield and it has better accuracy. Assassin Dagger has niche uses now that we have a better concept of how to actually proc those status effects. And a Blizzard Spear is a fantastic find if we run into lag anywhere out in the wild.
Yeah, and a Bacchus Wine and a Silk Web. The Silk Web, in my opinion, might be the biggest pickup out of here.
That's true, because we are playing with S cabins. You're not going to be able to purchase that reliable cursed ring. If you want one, you're going to have to find it somewhere. If you want to anchor, with a low agility character as Aromas, you have to take a lot of extra planning to make that happen. The Silk Web, on the other hand, even if you aren't going in with optimal agility setup, can really save the day at this Aromas fight, making it a lot more manageable.
And that Bacchus could potentially trivialize a fight, depending on what you run into. If you just need a lot of physical damage, definitely a nice thing to have.
Pots Morpheus in the chat bringing up the status proc, the insta-death that you can get from Assassin Dagger. Yeah, the Assassin Dagger, Slumber Sword, Medusa Arrows, Charm and Mute Arrows. Basically, any weapon that has a status effect proc, you can fairly reliably make it happen if you fill two conditions. One, you want the characters involved, your party member with the weapon, and the enemies not to be acting at relative agility 1, that is getting an action every single tick. That will throw things off. And two, you want to... Oh, hi there, Wyvern. Two, you want to take your turn with the attack immediately after the enemy has taken that. You want them to have just gone, and then you do the attack, and then you nearly always get the status proc. And that's how you do status effects.
All right. Yeah, I believe the key there is they need to have a ATB of 0. You can do some hourglass shenanigans with it as well, but it's just way more reliable if you can get the timing down.
Oh, yeah.
But that Wyvern might foil Solaris' plans of wanting to take that Edward, as you had mentioned, with the dancing dagger. So, no thank you.
I'm a little sad that Wyvern is out of the way so early and is only guarding an Edward. It's so much more fun to me when it's gating something nasty, it's later in the seed, so maybe you've burned through your Star Veils, maybe you have to try to get a wall cast off, but here it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I won't be getting that Edward today.
And the first boss here on Ordeals, Officer Soldier, free. We've seen, what, 3 of the free bosses now? We've got Baron Guards in Waterfall, Officer Soldier here, Waterhagen, Baron in 1. There's not many more out there, so there's Ribbit Ruben Masamune alter possibility of being a nasty boss is steadily rising.
Fingers crossed for Baigen and Evil Wall always. Maybe a good Magus Sisters.
Golbez at Masamune alter would also be really, really annoying.
Oh yeah. But relatively easy fights on Ordeals, even without the stacks of J items we have to throw at them. The first fight being the Kaipo Officer and Soldiers, which I guess the main frustration there is that if the officer runs away, you're not getting full XP for that spot, which is pretty nice. Octomammoth here, of course, as you chop off tentacles, gets slower and slower, but still able to pack a wallop. Blaze doesn't seem to be that concerned with picking Porum back up for the XP, though. Takes down the Squintopus. Octosquid?
And Solaris clears the full defense, finds the Darkness Crystal. That's actually really kind of important and a little scary because we are playing with K unsafe, which means our underground access can be on the moon.
Absolutely. It is kind of funny with regard to that K unsafe flag, because although it's meant to be like a little bit terrifying, I think sometimes it can be actually a godsend. For instance, if you're on a really nasty hook route, there are enemies down there along that path that you just can't get through. Having access to the moon and the giant for even a cursory grind, getting an extra character in the Lunar Palace, all these things can actually help you more than they scare you.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is good. We're going to get a character check here. Maybe we'll find our 5th character. Maybe it'll be our Porum, or it could just be a dupe, and it's just a cutscene we have to sit through.
But of course, this is the Lunar Racing Club, so Moon is always required in some fashion. Although you much prefer to be able to just take down those last two altars, swag walk your way down to the core and finish things off. Uh, it's always a little cruel when the seed forces you to go back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
And the item on ordeals was
cutscene
just
isn't.
Oh, go ahead.
Was it? I missed it.
Oh, it was a dragoon helmet.
Okay, decent piece of armor. But yeah, the cutscene to the moon isn't particularly long, but if you're having to do it, 4, 5, 6 times in a seed, that adds up.
Blaze here,
So
curiously,
let's see.
opting to go ahead and pop one of the 3 given sirens to summon double Lilith here. You can get a nice 6600 XP out of this. Really great for an early infusion. But you know who else is pretty nice?
That Tella with a darkness crystal in hand and ordeals being free. That's nice.
Very nice. One thing to note, though, you only get 3 Ether 1s in the starting kit. So doing the full grind to get your way all up to, Nuke and Holy on your black and white mages, probably a little less likely than normal. And also, it's looking like we're going to be hard-pressed to have a full team of 5 at that. So now you have to ask yourself, do I actually go for that level of commitment on a grind, or do I maybe just use a Siren and an Hourglass in concert to take down some gold dragons? There are a lot of choices, a lot of options for getting your levels here, and you have to decide how much of them you want to go for. Are you going for the big bada boom all at once, or just enough to get you over that hump?
Yeah, well, that succubus that Solaris just found also helps restore some of Tella's MP if you want to use one of your white mages as an MP battery. You also have to keep an eye on your life potion count because we start off with 20 something of those, and you don't want to burn all those on your D machine grind. Ooh, a dwarf axe.
Yeah, the one item that will back row glitch Kane. And if we are intending to pursue some of these lunar fights at suboptimal levels, well, that will get you through them. Oh, pardon me. It doesn't get you through them. That lets you stay in the back row and take a little reduced damage. I don't know why that particular phrasing came out of my mouth. That was very weird.
Yeah.
That is not a free fight in Cave Bahamut. One of the highest physical attacks in the game from an enemy that loves to punch.
And an enemy that has an extra 9,000 hit points. You don't like that.
Yeah, and then it splits into smaller ones that all punch you. I don't think we're going to see that fight done by anyone unless that ends up being the only way underground.
Good to get that knowledge out of the way. The loot from Cave Bahamut also was pretty worthwhile, so I'd say that was a trip that had value, even if the value wasn't behind the boss itself just yet.
But now, back on the blue planet, we're getting a little crisscross applesauce here. Blaze taking down Fabul, Solaris heading up Ordeals. We still have a lot of options on the blue planet, though. Baronin still sitting there with the Water Hag, and of course that Earth Crystal doesn't just give the treasury. You can march on up there and maybe get another good character for the team.
Maybe you got 2 shots. There's also, I don't think either runner has checked Mist Cave for potential vanilla demist. Yeah, there's still plenty of the overworld to be done, but the checks are running low, and with Dwarf Castle being required, we might need to get underground by Route of the Moon.
It is kind of funny when you do end up with one of those seeds where you don't have any underground objectives whatsoever, and you find the Darkness Crystal, and you're just like, Magma Key. Like, no, I'm good. There's an underground?
It's a whole other third of the game.
Matthias asking in the chat, is Fu disabled in this flag set? No, Fu is theoretically available, but you do have only 7 characters in your pool. We have seen 5 so far. Porum, Rosa, Kane, Edward, and Tella. So 2 more chances at Fu being out there somewhere.
Yep, 2 more chances for Edge as well, because Blaze did find that Murasame. Or maybe you want find a black mage here. We've got an Odin and a Sira summon that we can't sell, so maybe you want to find Iridia for that. or even just a Palom to have a nice Quake kid.
Blaze gets the Darkness Crystal, but is not tempted by it just yet. I kind of like this because if you are thinking, maybe I do take a fight on the moon and go ahead and burn an Hourglass, having the Rosa on your team to get a huge influx of levels makes a lot of sense as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Fill out your party. You're going to find this Tela on the moon, and you'll be like, okay, cool, I've already done Ordeals. I'll have Weak. You can very easily go down to, what is it, B3, and pop a Siren, an Hourglass, weak them, kill them, and get a nice infusion of 90k if you pull off that life glitch.
Blaze here getting surprisingly lucky in not having picked up any characters. Golbez is at the karate spot. Of course, go ahead.
I was going to decides to use 2 Star Veils instead of potentially just 1. The spot is very slow. It's not going to be doing a lot of damage from its reflected spells. I would have figured maybe just 1 on Kayn and jump your way through it, but.
And I'm not sure, did Blaze burn all of his big bombs? Golbez does take double damage from fire, and one of those can tear through most of the health at this spot.
I know he used 1 against Officer Soldier. I haven't seen him use another, but I could have missed it while watching Solaris. This is another advantage to not having gotten another character, though. Shadow does absolutely nothing if you only have 2 characters in your party.
And apparently has burned the big bombs down to just Boreas's and Zeus Rages. But of course, with these Star Veils up, shouldn't be too... Oh! Well then. So this spot's, this spot's kind of slow. And your Anchor is probably one of the first ones to lose it. So...
Oh, yeah, and Board AI, not particularly happy there. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Another Star Veil. That is a lot of Star Veil usage for this Golbez fight.
Yeah, that is 3 of the 5. I kind of have to wonder, if this is not a key item that you particularly want, do you reset out of this and get the Star Veils back, or do you take the Rosa?
That is a dilemma. If Blaze now earlier, did Blaze actually look at the Sparkle Boss guarding Eddie, or did he ignore it? Because if you know Wyvern's out of the pool,
he ignored it.
On the other hand, that's a pretty good weapon. Especially if you intend to fight, say, gold dragons on the moon, you know?
Yeah, that could also, if you really want that Edward, if you can dodge or outspeed the Mega Nuke, that Dragoon Spear will one-shot that Wyvern, so.
Trying to think of other enemies now that could really punish Blaze for having burned through all those Star Veils. Of course, we do get Tela on the moon. He'll know Wall. Rosa and Porom both learn it eventually. So there are other ways to get that ability back, but in the short term, I don't think there's too many things that could really, really hurt Blaze for burning them.
My biggest thought would be a Luge in a particularly nasty spot where you maybe want to reflect those things back and protect yourself from laser.
Solaris following suit now. Ah, there we go. So Zoe,
So Inven.
if you are in the seat now and you're racing this, what is your plan with regard to your team, your party composition? Where are you going next? What are you doing next to prepare for it?
I believe I'm gonna go to Zot. I want to see if I can get another character in my party, maybe fill this out. I've got a Dragoon Spear in hand. I've got a Black Swine. I still have most of that starter kit. There's not a ton that could be in Zot that could really ruin my day with Golbez and Wyvern out of the pool. That would be my next play. And then if that doesn't pay off, just start checking moon bosses, maybe try and find a free fight or something you can potentially get around with the equipment that you found.
Huh. Has Solaris burned through most of his J items as well? Because I see a whole lot of attacking and not a lot of item chucking.
I think he might have burned through the majority of his attacking J items. I know he used a Zeus Rage. I believe he used a Big Bomb as well, so I think he's very low, but I think he's conserving his Star Veils here. He still had all 5 last I checked, possibly knowing that this is a very slow spot. Has to be real careful now, though, with Kane being his only party member up.
Indeed. We do see Blaze here heading into the Lunar Subterrane.
I'm thinking this is going to be a quick Gold Dragon kill. Maybe goes further to look at bosses to see maybe what's required in the seed. Because you do have not only those J item exits, but Tela now, so the time investment is fairly minimal. But as expected, popping a Siren as soon as he gets to B3.
Yeah, I do like the play to go ahead and take down one set of these. You're going to have a ton of strength to make it through Zot if that is your next destination, just from getting all these levels on, you know, your characters that really upgrade with XP here, Rosa, Porum, and Kane. And if later in the game, for some reason, you need a more severe grind, you do have Tela. You now have 2 other folks that you can still MP from if you run low on restoratives. So yeah, definitely, I like the quick infusion here. Get the XP.
Yeah, in this flag set, I know personally, as soon as I get into ground, I like to pop a Siren on an egg just to get myself going. This is even better than that. So I absolutely love this play. Life 1 coming out a bit early there, but gets at least 1 life glitch here. It's going for the double.
Yeah, timing those doubles can be really tricky, but if you can pull one off on the gold dragons here, it's so incredibly worth it.
Yeah, and use the spell, so didn't even waste a life potion. It's very heads up. But yeah, timing it with jump is much harder than, say, timing it with like a level 2 spell from Forum.
Solaris, meanwhile, having to redo the Baron Infies, took a nasty wipe to that Golbez. It's kind of interesting. You wouldn't think that Golbez at the karate spot would give you that much creep. It's a very slow spot, low magic attack, but when you're worried about burning through your supplies, yeah, it can sneak up on you.
Yeah, and Solaris didn't find that Runak, so I think he's just rocking the Blizzard Spear, which is not doing quite as much as Blaze was able to do with his jumps. So
that is kind of an uncomfortable side effect of Golbez at low magic attack spots. You like him at high magic attack because he's going to do most of the work for you, burning himself down by casting spells off your walls. Here, it's not really burning through that 4,000 HP that you'd have to get through. Like, yeah, 177, these Star Veils aren't lasting for the duration of that. But I see all these J items. There we go. Solaris burning them this time. Gonna actually get the bang for the buck here. Get that extra damage in.
Meanwhile, Blaze goes ahead and decides to pop his last Siren here on another pair of King Ryus, potentially thinking, hey, I've got a Tella in party. If and when I get to 10 key items and want to do even a just a top-off grind, I have access to D machines. Just let's get this experience. Let me get through this early seed and just kind of set myself up for success.
Yeah, hitting the gas early. Meanwhile, Solaris has taken down Golbez this time. Gonna get that Dragoon Spear for a nice Cane upgrade. Gonna get Rosa in the party as well for that double White Mage action.
Tried again to get the double. Had both Rosa and Tella hit their life ones early, but Forum gets hers off, so we're still going to be getting the 90,000 from this, as well as, 69,000 GP to spend on free cabins.
Yeah, that is one funny thing about having access to Sirens again. Gold Dragons, if you need to, buy stuff beyond your grind, are great for it. One of the most lucrative financial opportunities in the game, and we gave you nothing to spend it on.
I mean, if you really want to make money with your Sirens, just go kill some pink puffs, right?
Yeah, that's all. That won't be a problem. Of course not.
Just have a drain. Just have like a bunch of drain swords. You'll be fine.
Another Lunar fight here in an unnecessary Earthbound spot.
Yeah, that is Plague off the table. So yeah, I think we've got only D-Lunars and Paladin left as far as Sparkles go. Solaris heading over to Zot. Blaze appears to be hot on his heels, but with considerably more levels under his belt, should be out potentially before Solaris makes it out.
Oh yeah, grinding, getting that extra 180,000 XP on the moon. The most annoying thing for Blaze in here is going to have to be taking the extra time to keep that Tella dead. Blaze seems very intent on keeping that Tella at base agility for the duration of the seed, and thus, that's one of the awkward things about cabins being the only item for sale instead of, say, tents. Cabins revive your down party members, so if you're using them to heal up the team, well, you also have to knock your anchor back down if that's part of your game plan.
Yeah, it's a little annoying sometimes, but you take what you can get, and when all you can get is cabins, you take it. Solaris finding another assassin dagger from that flame dog chest, not super great, but the little bit of experience for him is definitely a boon at this point.
Yeah, Zot can actually kind of surprise you if you've not taken the time to do any grinding first, or if you've not done, kind of the entire rest of the overworld. The bosses here are the final ones you face before you head underground in the vanilla game. Notably, the Valvala spot has exceedingly high spell power to make sure her status effect spells don't whiff in vanilla, and thus any magical boss at her spot can really rip through an underleveled team.
Yeah, and the Mag Sister spot has a huge chunk of HP relative to what we think of an overworld check, just because it is the combined HP of all three sisters. So if you had something like a Kainatsu there, that can be a bit rough. CPU could be annoying if you didn't have good damage output here because of that HP total, but this really shouldn't be an issue for Blaze.
Yeah, and having done that minor grind on the moon will definitely pay off here. We're going to see these jumps from Kain doing significantly more damage on Blaze's side than on Solaris' side once we get rolling here.
Yeah, but you saw that remedy go off. CPU itself has 7,500 hit points, with Solaris probably doing less than 1,000 per jump or per swing. It's going to be a bit of a grindy fight, very safe, but a pretty big time sink.
Yeah, this is one of those fights where, I have 3 people who can cast cure spells, and the enemy only does percentage damage. You'll probably make it through.
Yeah, Blaze's Cane doing 1,400 damage per jump. We'll see what Solaris' side brings. That was a nice high roll, 1,800 on that one.
and even Porum's contributing here, putting that Power Staff on her and back row glitching her. Power Staff has 99% accuracy, so even our youngest White Mage will not be whiffing the bonks here.
Okay. Well, Solaris's Cane hit a nice 1200 there, so this won't be as long as I thought it might be. Does have that Dragoon Spear as well, so should be through it fairly quickly. Blaze has already taken down the big orb and only has the small orb now.
So for the characters up here, I'm thinking 2 more Edwards. 2 more Edwards sounds good, right?
I want to say let's get a Tella and a Cane. Because an Edward could let you fill out your party. Tella and Cane can't. And Porum, not having Porum means you don't get the objective.
And we see Blaze there almost pop a almost, then realizes, wait, I have to kill Tella again if I do that. We know Cure 3, we're fine. And that's character number 6. That is a Cecil. And with that Cane taking the Dragoon Spear, that frees up that Rune Axe.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice find here. Have that Rune Axe in hand. You also have that Ogre Axe. Really kind of opens up your damage possibilities. You've got some decent heavy armor that you probably haven't equipped to your Cane just because you have, I believe, a black belt. Hey, I got one of them right. There's a Tella.
And another thing to say for this is that Blaze has burned all his Sirens already. If he does not want to go do a grind on the Giant, loading up that Cecil with heavy armor and utilizing cover plus blink with these 2 White Mages can get you through pretty much any physical fight on the moon.
Yeah, could actually make that Mom Bomb possible. Is this even?
Looks like a little bit. Minorly.
I mean, fortunately, we have a Cane, which is going to make this not terribly obnoxious, at least.
Yeah, that's some really nice damage from our Dragoon friend. It is kind of funny that although you may think this is a vanilla Valvalis, there is one minor flaw in the randomization algorithm. In the vanilla game, Val here in Tornado form has perfect magic defense. In Free Enterprise, her Tornado form offers no magic defense at this spot. Not that we really have any spellcasters to really capitalize on that.
Yeah, it was definitely a quirk of the randomization, and when I first found that out, I was like, huh, okay. That's
handy.
That's a really nifty thing to know. But yeah, I missed it the first time, but the second boss of Dwarf Castle is Leviathan. That is not scary, except for the fact if the first boss leaves you very weak, you need to make sure at least one person has more than 25% of their HP, otherwise you're just going to instant wipe.
Yeah, it's always fun when there's an enemy who routinely casts weak, like maybe Valvalis in that first spot, and then you immediately walk headlong into either Leviathan or Ogopogo, and rip.
Yeah, the hubris punishment of finding something like Ogopogo or Leviathan in the super cannon room after having taken down a particularly nasty boss at the top of tower and you didn't save has definitely taught me to press A when entering the super cannon room, because that's something that you can do. Those bosses can be very punishing in the most absurd of circumstances.
We have found a Porum in the wild. It's not the Porum that you necessarily want to have to pick up because of the time investment. What are you doing? Ninja assassins have come to burn the village.
So, okay. So it appears that Blaze is going to potentially go ahead and get the cutscene out of the way and get the character. I honestly would save this for later in case you find a Porum that's less of a time investment.
Absolutely, because we have to do Dwarf Castle anyway. So if there is a Porum there, you're going to feel like you just wasted your time on multiple cutscenes, hoofing it to Kaipo and back. This is a huge investment. If this is the only Porum available, then it's fine. Everyone has to do it anyway. If there's a Demist here with a way underground, Galaxy Brain, woohoo.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was gonna say like 600 IQ if it's a demist with the magna key here.
but yeah, like if this is Demus with Magma Key and the hook is in a moon spot, oh my god. But I think in a lot of situations, this is a really risky play actually.
This is probably one situation where the free enterprise credo of check your freebies, do your objectives. I would hold off on doing this objective. You know it's here. You can always come back for it if you need it. But maybe it pays off for Blaze. Maybe it is the only one, or maybe there is the demist here. But either way, he'll get it out of the way and won't have to think about clearing the giant for a character.
Imagine if this is Demist and it's the only way underground, and everyone else goes and they full clear the moon this seed, then okay, it's not. If so, Ali would our restreamer Alicel would very quickly have a whole new reputation, if that were the case.
Yeah.
If we ever get access to making plandos, help me remember.
I will definitely help you remember, because I will also be remembering to put a demist at Mag Accessories with an Earth Crystal that then starts a stupid long chain into the Magma Key. But I was going to say something. And I forgot. Oh, Asura is out of the way, so there's another boss that you don't have to worry about needing Star Bells for.
Yeah, that's excellent. And there we go. At 38 minutes 45 seconds, Blaze will be the first one of our featured runners to light up an objective. Number 3, Get Porom, has been procured, and 2 of those other 3 are wide open. Question is, what bosses do you have to beat to get the credit for them?
Yeah, we still don't know who's in the ribbon spot, Masamune spot. We don't know the first spot of Dwarf Castle yet, so and we still don't even have a way to get there. So this,
Berserk now, alas, we know where the Alt Gauntlet is this seed. They are at the Beigen spot in Baron Castle.
And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but we're out of overworld checks, so our underground access is on the moon.
That is correct. So either a hidden mist somewhere up in the up off the planet, or just one of the bosses. Solaris here looks like maybe didn't realize that the Kaon safe flag is flying around, potentially thinking, wait, where did I not check? Why do I not have a way underground? Oh my goodness, is there a demist in here? But always read your flag set. Kaon safe here coming into play tonight in the Lunar Racing Club.
So I'm gonna throw out my trolliest option here, which is a demist at the CPU spot behind a Kainatsu at the element spot, and that demist has our only way underground.
Oh, so Zoe, I know you have a chart for this. What's that starting wave damage for Kainatsu at the element spot?
Let me pull it up. Give me just a brief second. That starting damage is anywhere from 2,600 to 3,900 damage, and that spot has 89 agility.
Disgusting. Blaze here, meanwhile, choosing not to go to the moon, appears to be going for the D money grind, if I had to guess, or maybe just peeking the bosses. You know, you could be taking that long bomb, hoping for a D mist at elements or CPU, like you were just suggesting. But also, this Cecil still 5 levels behind the party median?
I would think so after having popped the 2 sirens. Zot is worth a decent chunk of experience, but I don't think it's worth enough to make that up.
Yeah. So, and we have MP we can steal from Porom, from Rosa, and from Paladin Cecil now. So D Machine not out of the question here, and slinging that Cecil, that'll be a huge wall of HP to just cover all your other party members for any rude lunar bosses, in spite of our general lack of really good equipment.
Yeah, and to harken back to days of old, Blaze in the football gauntlet had a race that had a required demist here in the giant, and if this turns out to be a demist in here, he'll be happy to get it out of the way. And if not, and you rewatch this, I'm sorry for bringing that up, Blaze.
We are getting that peak. Odin here is curious.
Well, we no longer have our Zeus rages, and we can't buy Thor rages. So if you wanted to try and eddy that, that's kind of off the table.
But the spell power here is actually low enough to where that Odin attack doesn't necessarily spell doom for your team.
Yeah, it would. It'd be a decently long fight of having to heal through it, because you really don't have much in the way of lightning damage. Your Tella's lit 3 will do a decent chunk, but he's not even going to live through this relatively weak Sentetsuken.
And
It looks like Blaze is going for the D money.
And even if you tried some shenanigan like jumping over the first couple of Zentetsukens and then lifing Tella up, the problem is that that lighting spell will end the fight. And Blaze has been very intent on keeping that Tella at base level.
Yep, and it looks like Solaris was hovering there next to Miss going, what did I miss? And probably checked the flag set and went, oh.
Blaze, meanwhile, appears to have found and is settling into his grind. Solaris here, apparently following suit. You know, I had hoped with the sirens available, we wouldn't see as many Giant of Babel grinds on this flag set, and I have been regrettably proven wrong time and time again.
I mean, the only way to do it would, like, to get rid of D money would just be turn off Tella, turn off Fu, and then you have to worry about Mac Giant, and then you got to figure out how to get rid of that one. It's not going away in Ven. Unless we put on Eno encounters, it's not going away.
Well, in any case, while our intrepid racers are off to get their levels, the wonderful levels of D-Money, what do we have coming up on the Free Enterprise channel and for the community just in the next few days, Zoe? You know off the top of your head?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I have the channel open.
Okay.
So tomorrow night over on Randomania, we have our Friday community race. That'll be the same flag set that was played on Monday. It was a fantastic race. I highly suggest checking that one out. And then on Saturday, we'll have the Enterprise Legacy race here on Free Enterprise. So if you've been following Legacy, it's a great club. I am totally not biased, I promise. And you're going to want to see that tomorrow night. The community race is 10 p.m. Eastern. And then on Saturday, Legacy is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome, awesome. I see that meta objective opened fewer than 25 treasure chests. So that could be very fun to see folks, if they just play for the win and say, I'm going to loot everything, I don't care about the meta objective. Or if they're like, I can win that seed in 25, I can win that seed in 24 treasure. Okay, enough of the old game show references. We'll leave that to our friends in other rando communities.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm just pandering to DS, so.
Of course. So for those of you who, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so we're back to the dueling D machine grinds. Just want to shout out our runners. We got Blaze and Solaris offering their services to be our featured racers for tonight's Lunar Racing Club. Shout outs to them. And if you enjoy the race, you enjoy Free Enterprise, both of them are great follows to do with the follow button on Twitch. Invent, cut me off.
Hey, you're good. In case anyone here is watching is relatively new to the randomizer and wonders just what is happening here, this is the main grind used in the No 64 speed run, and it's a very potent one in the randomizer as well. You purposely find a specific searcher in the Giant of Babel. It summons D-Machines. They are vulnerable to the Weak spell, which reduces them to single-digit HP. Moreover, they only use this fire attack, which is percentage damage. There is no way for you to, well, you can't just be one-shot by them. So as long as you have a little bit of caution and a little bit of technique, you can get an absolutely absurd amount of XP from this fight in one fell swoop. and it just kind of sets you up for any remaining bosses in the game.
Yeah, and Blaze showing off the entire reason that Cecil has MP, aside from casting Exit, which is to serve as a MP battery, casting Psych, getting 82 MP back, nearly his full MP stock. Very, very, very good use of Cecil's MP pool there.
So from base level, it takes a combined total of 22 D machines to get Porum up to the Holy Spell. But Blaze here did fight multiple gold dragons on the moon. I can't imagine it'll take quite so many to finish his grind. Solaris probably needs to go through all the MP he can get his hands on to really get both white mages prepared for the finale. Ooh, weak spell going out on the Searcher. Blaze, of course, being very intent. Tellus shall never taste a drop of sweet, sweet XP. And roll those level ups. Cure 4 and Life 2 for Rosa. Did not go all the way to Holy this run.
Yeah.
Did get Cure 4 on both white mages, though, and Cecil with 34 levels.
Porum would have needed 17 D machines worth of kill credit, so 9 plus 9 if you're life glitching in order to get to white. Just a little bit shy there. Looks like 3 levels shy. And Rosa's only 1 level shy of white. So if you're planning on maybe trying to take down this Odin here, that'll get you white on Rosa, and then potentially the CPU spot as well. So I definitely can see the logic in cutting it short.
Oh yeah. And even if you aren't going to make that gamble here, we have to fight both the Ribbon Room and the Masamune Altar. Those will definitely get Rosa to Holy, and probably Porum will be pretty close. But if we have to hunt the rest of the moon for underground access, well, there's XP aplenty. Don't worry about it. And now I believe we will see a little more of that. Check your objectives first. Of course, if either the Ribbon Room or the Masamune Altar give that underground access, that's true go mode.
Yep. Ribbon Room has 2 key item spots. Masamune Altar are obviously the 1. So that is 3 chances to get either a Magma Key or a hook. With these levels, you take the hook even if it requires going through that hook route. So 2 key items you want, 3 spots. Let's play the game and see how well the dice want to roll for us. I never knew there was a exit of the whale on the right.
Oh yeah, you can choose either little telepad down to the surface. What is really awkward about them is that you can actually buffer your menu entry on them and thus enter your menu before you fully exit the whale. And I've done that and been like, why can't I save my game? And then I come back out of my menu and then I'm on the surface and then I can save my game. And I'm like, thanks. I'm be very excited to see our remaining freebies in these 2 spots, just to make our racers think, oh no, I shouldn't have grinded. Leaning towards, let's go with King Queen Evelyn and the Dark Imps.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually on the giant. I was thinking maybe if this is Dark Imps here at Element Spot, you don't even bother doing the D-Money grind. You just pop an Hourglass and take these out. But then it was Odin, so yeah. Or if either runner still has any Star Veils left, we could see a Bahamut too, which is relatively free.
Now, what's going to be really funny is if the moon ends up having the Baron key, and the Magma or the Hook is behind Baron, so we still get that all gauntlet.
Oh, that would be delicious. Was it breath? Let me show you how.
That is the lag awaiting here. Gonna see that flip over to the Blizzard Spear, get that double damage rocking with it.
Yeah, big damage coming in from Kane. This spot's Fire 2s really don't hit very hard, so attacking with Cecil is not doing a bunch. That Glare didn't even do max damage. This spot's magic power is relatively weak.
That Glare's still enough to take down anyone on this team, though.
Yeah,
and for some reason, what is Cecil swinging with here? that is definitely not a rune axe.
Is that the silver staff? I think Blaze may have searched him up with a silver staff by mistake.
It wasn't even a silver staff.
Oh, no.
It was a staff. You know, like the spear.
Oh, I think he was using the staff to summon the demon machines. So he didn't hit for a lot of damage.
That makes so much sense. But dang, Cecil over here hitting for like 400 damage with the staff. I dig it.
So the biggest thing I'm disappointed is we have the spear, we have the staff, we have the rod, but we don't have like the claw or the sword. Like,
there is a whip.
there is a whip. Yes, there's a whip. There's no bow. There's no arrow. I think I'm running out of weapon types. There's no whatever you want to call Edge's ninja swords. You can just call it a ninja, I guess.
Wrap. Polaris, meanwhile, done the grind, heading out of the giant as well.
Ruby just 42,000 hit points, finally decides to go down. Polaris deciding to loot here. Maybe wanting to find that last arm chest, see if you can pull a cheeky high tier item. Oh, there's a Stardust Rod.
That'll go really great with that Tella.
It'll make your weak hit more accurately. Wait.
The actual kind of exciting pull for Solaris, though he doesn't know it yet, is that Ice Brand. Going to be able to have two characters with icy weapons fighting Leg in a minute. And by the way, we did get a Luca key, I believe. And what was the other reward? I didn't see the other chest.
You're assuming I was paying attention.
That's what the clip button's for. Let's go to the tape.
I was watching Solaris loot the giants. According to chat, it was a crystal armor. So if you want to cover strat with Cecil, there you go.
Ah, gotcha. Well, you will lose the ability, of course, to get zerked without an Avenger. Yeah. But yeah, the cover strats are real. Although not really well, I guess for the first part of this fight.
Yeah, this fight, Doctor Cutscene, not the worst. This spot does, hit pretty hard, and the second phase does a lot of HP-based damage, both Luge's HP and your own HP. But if you manage to hang on to a Star Veil, emission and beam are reflectable, and laser reflects but doesn't actually do anything to Luge. It just nullifies it.
Down knob, getting oiled, growling, punching children in the face, just living his best life. And that's an Excalibur. Last arm chest with the payoff. Although again, that Ice Brand will do more damage to Ruby, I'm pretty sure. But a fantastic upgrade for that Cecil. Excal, second strongest Holy Sword in the game. Big boost to strength, holy damage, just tears through so many enemies. Solaris definitely feeling like that was a good payoff. Kind of contrasted with that Flame Dog chest earlier, which only gave an Assassin Dagger.
Yeah, I was about to like call a Crystal Sword, but Nexcal, works just as well. That's something that, you wasted some time in the last arm chest, but you might make that back up on, say, like the Luge fight and on the Zeromus fight. Because you do have two sources of Zerk. You have two characters with very good weapons now. You could go for some relatively safe hybrid strats on Zeromus.
Yeah. And Luge really getting the poison out before that Berserk can be cast. Poison is, I forget whether we technically say higher or lower in the status priority, which means, of course, that Zerk won't connect.
It is technically higher priority. Berserk is actually the lowest priority status effect. If there is any other status on a character, Berserk will not land.
Gotcha. Fascinating. And ooh, that laser damage. Poor him.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts quite a bit.
What percentage of Luge's HP is that based on? I think it's well higher than the 4% that Wave is, right?
Yeah, I want to say it's 10%.
Seems reasonable.
But if anyone in chat knows for sure, feel free to correct me. That feels correct to me.
But of course, the more damage you do, the less damage Luge will do here. The Cyborg Fiend is down. The reward is womp womp. I mean, the real reward are the objectives we completed along the way. Ribbon Room and Masamune Altar, both 1 and 2, are now done for Blaze. Still no way underground, though.
Yep. So, we've got Crystal Altar, Murasame, and that Mom Bomb in Cave Bahamut, and then we still don't know who is at the CPU spot. So, CPU Demist is still alive. What I would probably laugh the most about is if it is CPU Demist and it's also a Poramon the Giant, making that package play just completely not needed.
Oh, so rude. Anyway, Plague Altar next up has some double dragon action.
They moved next door. They got tired of their room. They wanted some new furnishings.
You're like, wait, you've had us guarding ribbons? You've had us guarding ribbons this entire time? That's it. Zemus, we want to guard the big sticks. We want to guard the bopping tools.
I do think that of all of the LST bosses and what they guard, that the biggest troll from the developers was putting the ribbons behind the D-Lunars.
Oh yeah. Hi, we have status effects. Would you like to protect against status effects? Yes. I also like that the D-Lunars are doing more fire damage than Ruby did.
Yeah, right?
I mean, it's percentage based, so go figure. And Tella gaining XP. 5 whole levels. Oh no.
Oh, there's the Magna Key.
I don't think we're resetting out of that XP though. Because
Let's go mode.
Back at the blue planet, throw a key down a well, go to Dwarf Castle, bada bing bada boom. It'd be real funny if like we later learn that the pass is in the Fame Arch chest, because I don't think anyone's going to be checking the Fame Arch chest tonight.
That would be hilarious.
The gamble of gambles.
That or like even Sheila 1 would still be a time save because you'd be at Fabul, just fly right over to Troya.
Yeah. Of course, that is highly unlikely. I do like how few key items it took us to get to go mode tonight, though.
Yeah, like we didn't do that many extraneous checks. The package got us our forum, which came from Zot and that Earth Crystal. I think we found like Tower Key in like Antlion. So that was really kind of the only one that you could avoid getting because you needed the Darkness from Fabul. The Luca Key came from one of our required objectives, and then you need the Magma Key. So that's a relatively thin go mode as far as key items are concerned.
Chat here hoping for the troll to see a Porum at Dwarf. Always wanting whoever's running the game to be punished. Twitch chat, you are all monstrous. I love you so much.
They're monstrous, but they make our job fun because then we can be monstrous and they don't get mad at us for doing it. They encourage us. I always find it funny, the struggle between my inner commentator and my inner racer, because when I'm commentating, I'm like, yeah, throw all the troll at them, make this as rude as possible. And when I'm racing, I'm like, please don't. Please be nice.
And hey, one Lunar Sparkle left. I believe this is guaranteed to be Pildim.
You would be right. This will be Pildim, and this will go very quickly. We have that Dragoon Spear. Yeah, this is going to be a blink and you miss it fight.
I'm expecting a nice big wallop from that Dragoon. Even better that we found it too, because of course the Blizzard Spear would only do half damage here. Pildim taking reduced damage from the 3 primary elements, absorbing them if you cast them outright. Oh.
Ooh, that... Not even a jump, and that was nearly 8k damage.
No, Tella, stop gaining XP. 3 more levels for Tella. Kane going twice before Cecil can get the 1 swing off just because of how the Q operates.
And there's our Leviathan. Gonna do quite a bit of damage just because our characters have a lot of HP, but it's not scary. And it was a white mage, but it wasn't Porum, so womp womp.
Yep. Chat was longing for a punish, and it did not come. The real punishment was the XP Tella got along the way.
How dare you use that joke twice in one restream?
I only have like 3 of them. Hey, and just enough for Pizza to learn Holy as well.
Hey, that's pretty good. Perfectly calculated.
Of course, the dream here is to just get the pass as your reward. If not, maybe you like
would be good.
Yeah. A pan here would be real funny. A pan here, I think, would cause some temptation.
Oh yeah, I think a pan here is something where you might have to consider it because that's 3 possible ways of getting the pass, and the time investment is fairly minimal in the grand scheme of things.
I think it'd be funny if, like, to avoid temptation, you just choose to cast Exit instead of getting the item at all. I will not be tempted.
That would definitely, yeah, no, that would be a. I'm not even gonna be thinking about doing anything else. I'm just going to go straight to Zeromus. If there's a pass here, I'll die by it. But a spoon is not a pass. A spoon is a tool for eating soup.
Or for slaughtering your foes.
Not in this flag set.
Not in this one. But yeah, Blaze is in full go mode now. Just has to fly back to the moon, walk to the core, kick a booty, and that will be all we wrote tonight. A surprisingly linear seed here, in spite of the moon being required for your underground access. Just everything on Earth. We had a little bit of crisscrossing going on, but for the most part, our featured runners did the same thing. And then here on the moon, just with the underground access being right next to the other two objectives, kind of guiding everyone home. It's gonna be kind of a. I think the finish line order tonight will be mostly a. It's a little less about gambling on where you went and a little more about how quick and efficient you were in clearing the checks that the seed just kind of plopped right in front of you.
Yeah, this was an execution seed, not necessarily a routing seed, because your routing choices were fairly linear, and unless someone decided to gamble and go, say, top down, even though the bottom is where your objectives are, I don't see a ton of variance in the routes of this seed. Speaking of which, Solaris is going to be getting his magma crystal. That'd be neat. Magma key from the White Spear altar as soon as he has vanquished these D-Lunars.
When an earth crystal and a fire crystal love each other very much, you get a magma crystal.
And then when water gets involved, you get an obsidian crystal?
Sure.
Okay. Also just realized I passed up the great joke of saying vanquishing these lunars. I'm sorry for missing that opportunity.
These lunars? Yeah, yes. These lunars.
These lunars. Not those lunars. These lunars.
Blaze not doing the swag walk all the way down, and I don't blame him. Gonna take that little safety save right quick before we walk on down the rest of the way. Because again, it is notable that like our mage's defensive gear is not all that up to snuff. Rosa at least has the big HP total. Porum decidedly does not. And if you're doing hybrid strats here, actually we have a unicorn kicking around, don't we? I don't think we're gonna see. I don't think we're gonna see unicorn strats here. I think we're just gonna see general hybrid strats.
Yeah, but on top of not really having much in the way of defensive white magic gear, I don't think we even found any of the good staves. No lunar, silence, or life staves. So these white mages are basically in their base equips. They are not going to be resisting much of the big bang damage. So you're going to want to take this very safe and not try and get too smart with it.
And with no one finished in the race room, Moonblaze Wolf, at one of our featured restreamies, is entering the Zeromus fight. We may have a chance to see the first place finisher cross that line on stream.
Yeah, and I believe we need to ask a question. And I know you haven't been in the booth for a while, so would you like to take the honors?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
It's all you.
Can we do it one word at a time? If I say whose, can you say the next one?
I will try. If I mess up the order, I apologize in advance.
Okay. Whose
But
are
we
going
to
kick
tonight?
Hey, we got it done before Z appeared. Woo!
Joel.
Oh!
Everyone in chat was talking about how they wanted pizza. I'm over here thinking of some nuggets or some tendies.
Just some nice hot wings.
I bet late last night I did watch J. Kenji Lopez Alt make crispy wings in the oven, and I've been thinking about them all day long.
Yeah, this is one I have yet to see before, but there we see that silk web going out. that we found way back in the treasury. Gonna slow Zromus down and make this fight much more manageable.
Getting about 5,000 around from our Zerkers. Tons of HP on our Cecil and Kane. A nice nerfed Big Bang.
Still have 2 Star Veils out, so getting the Cure 4 off before the Star Veil goes up, very, very heads up there. Making sure Porm gets back to full health. Going to start reflecting a white or 2, and then I imagine once Porm falls, might just opt to continue healing with Rosa for the duration of the battle.
Very reasonable hybrid strats. Getting in the bonus damage while it's safe, making sure... Oh, actually not going for a bonus holy here. I guess there is always a little bit of paranoia that you're going to get a black hole landed on yourself right before you cast the spell and blast your own character into oblivion.
Yep, especially with white having the Castellet of, I believe, 4 compared to Nuke's Castellet of 0. There's all those extra ticks for either black holes to come out or for your Star Veil to wear off, and that can be nasty.
I believe this is an unnerfed Big Bang. And takes down Porum by only 30 HP. Little rude there, Chocobo. Little rude.
Little rude. Had Porum been at full HP, she would have survived with 8 full HP, but unfortunately the sap from the previous Big Bang had reduced her down just a little bit.
Actually pulling out the life too up in here.
Yeah,
Opting
going
to
for
play
safe strats here, yeah.
Yeah, that extra layer of caution. Though if you're not going to nerf this Big Bang,
Might be sitting on Porum's turn in case there's a low roll where you can get this Cure 4 off, and seems to be just kind of content potentially going through with that strategy.
Black hole comes out at last, so we'll probably see some reapplication of Zerks. We definitely want to be doing, upwards of around 2,500 a swing rather than, this, like 12 to 1,500 a swing.
Yep, hopefully we can get those back up. I just had to scroll back up in chat to see if anybody had made the joke, and it looks like Antidale is the only one who did, that this is a chocobutt.
That we usually refer to the Chocobud in the Chocobo village. It's a village shaped like a chocobo, and there are 2 treasures hiding where its tail is. But yeah, this is the true form of the Chocobut tonight. And rocks are falling. Blaze is gonna make some nuggets pretty soon here. Just a few more swings.
And that'll do it. Moonblaze Wolf comes in 2nd place with a time of 1:15:40 because he got sniped by Tybalt, who was finished 1st with a time of 1:15:22. GG's to Blaze.
Missed it by that much, but still wonderfully run, start to finish. Just, 18 seconds. That is so close. But yeah, get your GGs out in chat if you haven't done so already. And I'm sure our restreamer will be seeing if Moonblaze Wolf would like an interview shortly.
A very, very clean run, very well executed. Looks like Tybalt probably followed basically the exact same thing. I'm curious to ask Tybalt just one-on-one to see if there was any potential difference there that could have made that 18 seconds, because that is incredibly tight for top 2 spots in a race like this. Blaze, press A.
Yeah, you gotta get the credits rolling. You gotta go get us some twin harp. We need a Gers or a Graham up in here. Oh my god, y'all. Stop it.
Oh. It took me a second.
Children. Anyway, Solaris entering the fight. We'll be getting a second helping of Chocobo Nuggets here. You have a third place finisher. Flurry is wrapped up with a 1:18.20. I'm sure they'll be coming in fast and furious soon.
Yep, so GG's to Flurry. Meanwhile, I'm still craving some hot wings. Solaris won't be able to nuke them for me, but maybe he can at least get them prepped. And we are joined by our second place finisher and first place on stream. Hi, Blaze.
Hey, y'all.
So you wanted to, your team was all about the pizza, but the Seed wanted to give you the big nuggets. You kicked that chocobutt.
Yeah. No, that was a great sprite. I don't know. I don't think I've seen that one before. That one might be a new one.
Skyla's saying it's been in for a bit, but yeah, this is the first time I've seen it, so.
That was a fun one. I actually had pizza for dinner, so I was not like hungry or anything, but that's a meaty bird.
Yeah. Like we were talking about nuggets and tendies and hot wings, and now I'm hungry.
So we of course had that darkness crystal come into play. The K unsafe reared its ugly head. What was your overarching philosophy with regard to getting powered up for the moon? What made you decide to do the giant instead of maybe saving your sirens a little bit, checking for early bosses? Like, do you do that every seed, or was that something unique to your party structure and your loot tonight?
I generally don't try to force it on the moon if I don't have to. So this was a situation where once I had that Tella, I knew I had the darkness crystal. I probably had a 5th character, so I figured I'll just fill up my party. Worst case scenario, I can grab Edward and he can be my anchor, and I can just get my party to the levels I need to make those 2 moon checks safe. Because the way that Seed broke, you figure once you get those, you're going to find the underground access on the moon, of course. So then as soon as you get underground, you're probably in go mode because Porum's either at Dwarf Castle or somewhere along the way and just happened to be at the package.
Yeah, we were talking about the package play a bit, and I thought it was interesting, almost kind of a gamble to take it that early. Even if Porum is your objective, maybe you were going to stumble upon one in a more free location later, considering Dwarf Castle was also required. Ultimately, that wasn't the case, but it was definitely something where I thought it was an interesting play, and it would have paid off in spades had it been like a demist magma key at Kaipo.
Yeah, the Demas still being out there was probably the main reason that I didn't reset, and I definitely thought about doing it, but because, like, I guess the worst case scenario for me there is that Porum's a dwarf also, and so I was totally breathing a sigh of relief when it was Rosa, at Dwarf Castle, because I knew that was where everybody was probably going to have to go. The way I kind of saw that seed, it's giving you two options. You can either use your sirens, take your chances on the moon. I felt pretty good once I saw Luge that was going to be pretty difficult for a low level party. But if there had been easy bosses down there, I think if you get your underground access, you come back, check Dwarf, and then maybe you start, like, you probably still go to Zot next, but I was pretty confident doing it the way I did it, and I think it worked out fine. I don't know. That was a lot of words. I mostly just wanted to have Porum at that point, or I wanted to have the objective done at that point.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Check your freebies, do your objectives is kind of the name of the game. So you got it out of the way, and you ultimately weren't punished for it. And so it was well played. Obviously, you came in second. Very, very respectable finish. And Solaris has finished in fourth place with a time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 57 seconds. So GG's to Solaris.
Awesome race by Solaris. Has been doing really, really well in the Lunar Racing Club races. I just have to say, like, I think Rubicant's been in that spot every single week, or like almost every week. Inven, can you like confirm this? Because I swear, like, I keep seeing him in that ribbon room.
Oh, I don't remember anything more than 48 hours ago.
I can at least confirm that in the one LRC race that I was in, which was the first one back from when season 2 started, that one did have Rubicant and ribbon, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, free enterprise seeds are basically I'm like Guy Ritchie in Memento. They do not keep in my brain at all for some bizarre reason. So I'm sorry.
I mean, that doesn't seem like the worst thing ever, but yeah. But no, the funny thing was, I do think that fight probably cost me first place, although Tybalt clearly ran a really good race as well, but I still had that staff equipped on Cecil.
Oh, yeah.
And I was gonna gut it out because I knew I had the Blizzard Spear. So I was like, oh, I'll just get the Blizzard Spear on Kane and whatever. This is just kind of lulz. And then I lost my second White Mage. I think Porum went down. And suddenly I was just like, okay, I think I'm just going to reset and do this like right from the get-go. And I think if I had just had the Ogre Axe on instead of that staff on Cecil, I think that probably is 18 seconds right there. But I don't know for sure. It was pretty tight all the way through.
Yeah, I think that was probably the difference. I'm pretty sure you wasted more than 18 seconds there. And I was sitting here trying to think of what could have been like the 18-second difference, because clearly Tybalt followed a very similar game plan as you did. The seed was very linear. It was very execution-based. But yeah, accidentally having that staff equipped was probably the difference there. But those things happen. We were supposed to be wondering, what does Cecil have equipped? And I believe you had it equipped from your D-Machine grind, right? That's what you're using to summon the D-Machines?
Exactly. So yeah, there was just some stuff, like I was really rusty on my double life glitches because I was really excited I was going to get double life glitches on those gold dragons, and then I like failed miserably every time I tried to jump with Kane and do it. But I mean, it was really fun. I had a good time tonight. Every time so far that I've done Lunar Racing Club, I have gone into the Z fight in either first or second position and ended up finishing 7th. So it was actually just really nice to get across the finish line with a high finish tonight. So I'm just really happy with how that all went. Yeah,
it was fantastic to watch. I always enjoy watching you race. You're one of the reasons I got into Free Enterprise, so it's always very exciting for me. Meanwhile, we just had 2 other finishers. Poydrak finished in 5th with a time of 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 9 seconds. And Jay Brunter, 6th place, 1 hour, 25 minutes, 57 seconds. So GG's to them. We are going to see if we can get Solaris in here for an interview as well. But Inven, did you have any last questions for Blaze?
Oh no, just GG's. Well run. Glad to see you making it into the races and everything. And catch you on the next one.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out and watching tonight. Our bi-weekly race showcases, they're all a lot of fun, and you should definitely check them out. And thanks to Alicel, Inven, Zoe, and Xenocat for doing all the things tonight. I'm gonna bow out. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Blaze, and good evening, Solaris. GG's.
Hello. Thank you.
So, Solaris, you looked like you were a little worried after completing package and not having a way underground. Were you double checking the flags at that point to see the K on safe and everything, or were you just
Oh, I
really
definitely
hoping you didn't
was.
have to do moon?
Oh, I definitely was. So this is my second, I think my second race in this flag set, and I read the unsafe, but my brain processed it as boss unsafe, not key unsafe. So after package didn't pan out, I looked and was like, oh, okay, I have to go to the moon. Once I knew that, I was like, well, I'm glad I have Tella, because I'm honestly not sure. I guess with a Dragoon Spear, I could kill the King Ryus, but it's like, I'm glad I have this Tella, because I can at least do the D-Money thing and just kind of, run with that.
Yeah, and you got some sirens in the starter kit. You could have tweaked down some King Ryus as well with the Tella, but yeah, it was definitely a case where we saw you pause there for a moment, and I was like, oh yeah, he's checking to make sure that unsafe is on. This definitely happened to me the first time I ever played with unsafe. Oh, and we see that our D-Mist was in Baron Basement Throne with the hook. That's fun.
Nice. Of course.
But yeah, so well played overall. Fourth place finish, definitely respectable. 121.57 this flag set. Very, very nice time. Fairly linear flag set. What did you think of the way things fell overall?
Thank you. Yeah, it was surprisingly linear. I mean, it was really one path the entire way. I mean, the only things that really could have made that different, aside from just execution, is if you gamble on Moon earlier, knowing that it's unsafe, right? If I had known that, I might have just done that since I found Tella on the Moon. But yeah, the only other thought was, for some reason, I thought you could weak the last arms. That's why I took a trap chest, which, funny enough, happened to have an Excalibur. But yeah, there were no major, for me, there was no major wall. It was just like an execution race, essentially. And I think that can be quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I said. This was an execution race over a routing race. The only thing that both you and Blaze did that ultimately wasn't required that resulted in a key item was Antlion. I believe that's where you both got the tower key, and every other key item in your inventory either came from a required spot or led to something required, which I just find incredibly fascinating. It was very thin on unrequired checks.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Antlion's pretty tempting early on in this flag set. Or in general,
Antlion was
right?
Earth Crystal. I can't remember where Tower Key was. Maybe that was the starting item. So maybe there were none.
Tower was Tower was starting, Antlion was Earth. Okay, then it was Baron Inn, I think was technically the unnecessary, but it gave Rosa.
Oh yeah,
Baron
that was
was
also
a
the Dragoon
hat.
Spear.
Yeah. Oh no, it was a Dragoon Spear. Something gave a
Yeah,
hat.
so-
I forget what it was.
Yeah, it was the Ordeals gave the Dragoon Helm, but that's how you get your Tellas online. So
Tella.
yeah, no,
So pretty much everything was
done
required.
had. Yeah, everything done had
Or had
value. There was
value.
a second Rosa in Dwarf Castle that you could have gotten. But yeah, that was very interesting seed. We do have the rest of our finishers here. Ground Flyer finished in 7th with a time of 1 hour 27 minutes and 41 seconds, and Commander Leonhardt finished in 8th with 1 hour 28:20. And that is all of our entrants having finished or forfeited. So GG's to all the runners tonight. As predicted, with linear seed like this, the spread between the first place finisher and the last place non-forfeit was only 13 minutes. That's incredibly tight.
Definitely a good group of runners here for sure.
And I'm hogging the mic from my comm partner, Inven. You can ask stuff if you want.
Oh, I think you hit all the high notes. I mean, the linearity of the seed makes it to where there's not a whole lot of, like superfluous decisions to really delve into. Just well raced, and yeah, Solaris, you're whatever any other thoughts you have about it, but I think you just covered again most of the high points.
No, I mean, that's really kind of it. I'm curious, now that I've done a couple of these, what other scenarios could show up in this kind of flag set that might be extraordinarily rude, and I'll be looking forward to racing them.
Yeah, this is definitely a fun racing club. It's the one that I am most interested in participating in outside of the Enterprise Legacy. But again, I'm totally not biased on that one.
Yeah, at first, I'll say honestly, at first I thought it was going to be such a tough flag set that I wouldn't be interested, but you get a really good starting kit to just murder bosses with the consumables. I don't know, it's pretty interesting. I like it.
It makes your overworld a little bit easier, but then you need to start conserving stuff like the star veils, because do you need them for Wyvern? Do you need them for Golbez? Do you want to use 2 on Asura? Like, where can you use your star veils safely? Because you can't buy any more.
Right. I was like briefly interested in that Edward. I was like, well, it's another party member. There's only 7 guaranteed. But when I saw it was Wyvern, I was like, nah, I'm out. I need I need these star veils. I'm out.
Yeah, absolutely. And ultimately, neither of you picked up an Edward. I don't think we ever even saw our 7th party member with C Distinct 7. I'm willing to bet they're probably hiding on the Giant, or I guess must have been Baron Castle otherwise.
Or the
Curious.
Hook.
Yeah, I'm curious who it was, but it seemed like y'all had a pretty solid party by endgame, so probably wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah, no, this was fine to work with. It could have been a much worse party. And we found pretty good weapons, at least just the Dragoon Spear alone, plus the Troya Treasury. I think we were pretty well set up for success.
Yeah, that treasury, the biggest pull in that treasury, in my opinion, was that Silk Web, though.
Yeah, that was pretty useful. Pretty good for Z.
All right. Well, I'm out of questions. So there's any last thoughts on the seed?
No, just that this is my first time being restreamed, and it was a blast, and GG's to all the runners again, and thank you so much, Invenerable and Zoe, for commentary and for our restreamer and our tracker. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for racing for us tonight and allowing yourself to be restreamed. We would not have a show without our runners, and definitely wouldn't have a show without people like Ali and Xenocat behind the scenes. Otherwise, it'd be me and Inven in a voice call just talking about the seed to nobody.
You know, which probably could be pretty entertaining, but yeah, the rest of us fill it out. That's a word.
That is kind of, I'm imagining, it always puzzles me, people who enjoy listening to sports broadcasts on the radio, but, you know, maybe, I don't know.
we can explore this idea later, and you and me, you do like a free enterprise, like, replay podcast or something.
Maybe.
We'll talk about it. We'll workshop it. We'll leave it on the workshop floor and never talk about it again. In that order.
Okay, that's a good order. I like the game plan.
Okay, I think we're about to head on a raid, though. I think we have overstayed our welcome.
Okay, I will head out. Thanks again, GG's, and till next time.
Hey, sounds good.
Yeah,
have a good night, boys. And I believe we're going to be rating the winner of tonight's community race, Tybalt, who admittedly is not playing Free Enterprise at this point, is instead doing some Link to the Past randomizer. But you know, Tybalt taking that dub. We'll say that his grand prize tonight is getting the raid from us. So enjoy the company of Tybalt, great member of the community, playing another really great randomizer, and yeah, show some Free Enterprise love. Zoe, I'll leave it to you.
Yep. Everyone have a good night, and remember that we'll be on Random Mania tomorrow for the community race at 10 p.m. Eastern, and then back here on Saturday at 8:30 Eastern for Enterprise Legacy. Have a wonderful night, and take care.